Yo, guys, what's up? It's your boy Vert. We are back. It's so good to be back. What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for being patient with me and with my YouTube channel. But I'm excited to say that 2020 is going to be the year of the Vert, of the YouTube, of me doing the YouTubes. And I cannot wait. I'm excited because we are going to be kicking it off right with Guardian. Guardian is currently not available in North America at the moment, so we're on the global lab today, and I'm just going to be covering different super armors, forward guards, CCs, self buffs, and just kind of going over what the pre-awaken kit has to offer from Guardian. Let's get it.
Light it up.
Alright guys, like I said, today's video is going to cover the Guardian. It's the newest class to be added to BDO. So far, to me, it seems like it's going to be a frontline, a bruiser, going to be trading blow for blow. Has a ton of super armors, a ton of forward guards that we're going to talk about a little later. It also, right now, a lot of people aren't really sure what Guardian's going to be or how well it's going to do in the world of Black Desert Online, because the attacks are a little bit slower, a little more choreographed, but the impact they have feels amazing. Let's get into these skills. Alright guys, the first thing we're going to talk about for Guardian is this amazing passive that it has. I had help from WTF Blue and my boy Sky on translating the skill. This passive translates into Dragon's Mission or Dragon's Quest. Every time you damage with the skill, it'll proc and refresh the passive. The first part of the skill says that each stack will give you 5% crit chance. Every time you do damage, it does 10 seconds, all speed debuffs, 20%. The third part of it is that the crit buff can stack up to 10 times, so you can get up to 50% crit chance, and skills on cooldown will not proc the passive. Now, if that wasn't enough, for this one part of Guardian, the skills also refresh every time as long as the skill isn't on cooldown. The one-handed skills give you 100 HP per hit if you damage. The two-handed skills will restore 200 HP if you damage. But again, that doesn't work on skills that are on cooldown. But if you rotate skills properly and you stay in combat, you know, within the 20-second time frame, you can almost keep up a 50% crit chance buff all the time on Guardian. This is insane. And to top that off, we'll scroll down here, we'll jump straight to Guardian's passive. So every single one of these is not crit chance, it's actually crit damage increase. So each one gives 0.5%. all the way up to level 60, you will have 10% increased crit damage. And for the grinders out there, if you're able to push to 63 or higher, you get another 1.5% on that. So if you're a level 63 Guardian, you'll be getting a bonus 11.5% crit damage, which will be proccing all the time because of the Dragon's Mission passive, which will give you 50% crit. And that's not even including your gems. It's insane. It's so good. Such a good passive. Alright, let's move on to the other skills. Guardian is one of the few classes that has a pre-awakened siege buff, as people call it, or a 3-minute buff. The one for Guardian will give you 20 AP, 50% crit rate, 15% accuracy rate, 30% move speed, and 20% crit damage for 30 seconds. Just having this alone in the pre-awaken kit will give you such a nice damage boost while we wait for awakening. Alright, the first skill we're going to cover is pretty similar to Mass Destruction on Striker or Mystic. It's just going to be a little sidestep. Starts out as an iframe, leads into a super armor. It's going to be a stiff while it's not on cooldown, obviously. And it also gives a 10% attack speed increase for 10 seconds. So this is a nice little catch if someone comes in on you. It's quick and fast. And it also has a super armor knockback if you continue to hold down R and B through the skill. So I'll show you what this looks like. Alright, now we're going to cover the F skill. It's very simple. It's going to be a sweep of the leg for a bound, and if you follow it up with F, you will also get a down attack, down smash. We'll show that real quick. As you can see, trips him with the bound, and then you get the nice down smash right after. The next ability we're going to cover is down F right here. This is an ability I wouldn't really recommend using in the heat of battle. It's kind of slow. It is super armor, so you could use it to buy time if you wanted. It's also a bound. Personally, I would just use this outside of combat for the down attack damage buff of 5% for 10 seconds. It also has a flow on it, and I'll demonstrate the skill with the flow so you guys can see what the entire animation looks like. The flow itself is unprotected and kind of long, but it is a down smash, so here it is. As you can see, bound into the down smash. Again, maybe for certain PvE areas. Personally, I wouldn't use that in PvP myself. Next up is one of my favorite skills. This is going to be S and E or down and E, and it's going to be an axe throw, which can hit multiple times. It's going to put amazing debuffs on your target, minus 50% attack, cast, and move speed for 5 seconds. And it also has a flow on it, which allows you to close the gap to your target and gives you 24% accuracy for 10 seconds. That buff is absolutely huge, especially in this evasion meme era that we're in. I cannot wait to surprise people that are memeing with the muskins with this ability. I'll show you what it looks like without the gap close, and then I'll show you with the gap close. So there's multiple axe throws right there. Does pretty good damage. Again, that debuff that it applies is massive. Unfortunately, it's not protected, but you do have frontal, I believe, or maybe that's super armor. I'm not 100% sure because it's in Korean. But here's the skill with the gap close. As you can see right there, 24% accuracy. You get up in their face, you're in block stance, giving you that frontal guard and the super armor at the same time. Can be really, really useful if you catch someone from a distance, close the gap, continue to CC, and annihilate your target. The next attack is going to be a slow but heavy hitter. This one, most likely just PvE. It is super armor again. Shocker. Guardian, by the way. First hit's going to do 1161 times 3. Second hit, same thing. Third hit's going to do that times 4. 50% crit hit rate. So if you have your buff maxed, you will get 100% crit hit on this, meaning every skill is going to nuke. Again, it's a slower animation because that's just Guardian things. I'll show you guys what it looks like now. So again, very, very slow. On the last hit, you do have a bound, which again, I think is going to be more useful for PvE than anything else. Moving on to the next skill, we have S, L and B, R and B. You're going to recover WP on this, which is great. And then it also provides a minus 20 DP debuff on the enemy target for 10 seconds. It's going to be super armor, again, shocker. And a stun on the last good hit. Again, one of the slower abilities. Not sure how viable it's going to be for PvP. Maybe someone will figure out how to fit it in. Show you guys what that looks like now. Ignore that first hit. The second part of it was the actual ability. I accidentally used the previous skill that we were messing with, but you guys got to see it. Now, this ability is actually super, super interesting. This is also going to be your 100% right here, but this has 100% crit rate, 4% accuracy, and it's going to give you 5% crit hit damage, which will stack nicely with your passive. This skill can be used after any other skill in your kit just by activating spacebar, just by hitting spacebar rather. And it's forward guard and down attack. It does an immense amount of damage. Great way to engage with the 100%. You can use one of the movement abilities. But for here, I'll just show you a left click into space. There you can see that was actually our 100%. Do it one more time without the 100. And again, it is forward guard. It's not super armor, so it's not completely safe unless it is your 100%. If it is your 100%, you're gonna get the super armor on it, and it's gonna absolutely nuke. Moving on to the next ability. This is gonna be a movement skill. There's 3 parts to this. You're basically just jumping around, gathering rocks. You're in super armor the whole time. Has a 100% crit rate, but I don't see this thing being used for anything outside of just keeping super armor up in a sticky situation. I'll show it now. As you can see, it's just 3 leaps. You can choose to not do 3 leaps. You can do 1 leap, you can do 2, you can do 3. Again, it's just reactivated with space. Not going to be used too often, like I said, unless you're just rotating through super armors in a duel or something. Alright, the next skill we're going to talk about is your shift LMB. This is going to be forward guard while charging and a knockdown on good hits, but you have to be careful using this skill because it's only forward guard while charging. As soon as you let go, you can be CC'd, you can be knocked down, so you need to keep that in mind and only use it in very specific situations. It has a knockdown on it, has a down attack, down smash, and air smash, so an incredible amount of CC and great for catching people from a distance because of its range. So the skill looks like this. Here's the charge, let go, good AoE, a nice knockdown. Again, it is great damage. Alright, we're gonna do it one more time from a little bit further range so you guys can really see the range on this. Charge it up, let it go, got the knockdown again. Good AoE, knockdown. Again, you just have to be careful because it is only forward guard while you're charging. Now you can just quick release it like this. It's still going to be kind of slow, and you have to be careful not to get caught. Next up, we have this kind of just a filler skill. It can be used while you're in block, actually only used while you're in block. So you start blocked, and you're just going to spam RMB, and it's going to give you a nice little combo. You have a couple options out of it. You can RMB, you can also use F for different combos here. But I'll just show you what it looks like. So it's just a quick little combo like that. It's going to be super armor, nice and protected, but again, just kind of filler damage, nothing too crazy. The next ability is going to be one of the most fun movement abilities I've ever used. It's going to be your forward F. It's basically a shield charge. It's going to give you 10% move speed for 10 seconds as soon as you start the skill. Anything you hit will get a minus 20 DP debuff for 10 seconds. Keep in mind it is only forward guard while using it. It's not super armor, so you can be caught from behind. I'll show you what it looks like now. Good speed, good distance. As you can see, it carried us all the way over from this dummy right here. So really good distance on that skill. Relatively low cooldown at 12 seconds. And a nice little escape if you can avoid CCs from the back. Now there is a skill that flows off the charge skill that we just went over. And all you're going to do is you're going to hit LMB out of that skill. It's going to give you a nice little knockback and WP recovery, but it has absolutely zero protection on. So I don't recommend ever hitting LMB out of your sprint. There's better options such as this little shuffle, which is Shift W. Going to give you forward guard, cover a little bit of distance, and it's going to be a stiffness, minus 20 DP. It's got some nice debuffs on it. Let's show that real quick. So you do the sprint and then just Shift W out of it. You'll probably want to go into your block to stay protected right after. You can also come out of it, like I said, with LMB, but that's going to be, pretty unsafe. Looks like this, kind of long animation, and again, not protected. So would not recommend using it. Alright, next up guys, we are going to cover the grab for Guardian. Now actually during the making of this video, I discovered something about the grab. When I first looked at it, I was like, okay, it's a longer animation, but it's super armor and a knockdown, so that's super nice if you're waiting for cooldowns You know, if you're 1v2ing, it does give you that super armor and the knockdown, which will keep them on the ground for the longest amount of time and not allow them to be. So I'll show that right now. It has a little bit of a dash, which is really nice. I'll show you guys the grab. So you go straight into a little choke slam, they bounce on the ground, you get the knockdown, takes them a while to get up. That's just the grab by itself. Now what I learned while I was recording this is there's actually two different ways to cancel. You can either cancel with F or right mouse button. Now in PvE, right mouse button will stun the target, but I just tested it for PvP, and both cancels, both F and RMB, are going to be bounds. So it's not going to keep them on the ground as long, but it does speed up the animation in the grab by quite a bit. Alright, I'll show you guys that cancel now. So as you can see, the grab much faster. It's got a nice little dash animation. It goes into the headbutt, it looks like, and it turns the CC from a knockdown into a bound. So they will get up faster, but it's a way to get your grab off much, much faster if you need to get out, if you need to be a little quicker on your feet, a little in and out. You just go in, cancel with F, little headbutt, you know, followed up with an iframe super armor, whatever you want to do in that situation. But it does give you a little bit of versatility with the grab. That way you're not just locked in this long animation here. Alright guys, next up is going to be just holding down your R&B. It does have multiple hits. Again, slow animations, not really protected. It is going to have minus 20 DP, a knockback, and a bound on it. I'll show you what that looks like real quick. Again, this skill right here, probably only going to be PvE. I don't see you ever getting that off and making it viable in PvP. But you know, who knows? Maybe they'll speed it up a little bit. Alright guys, time for the big boy heavy hitters. Starting off with Shift F here. Massive AoE, an immense amount of damage. It's going to be super armor. It's going to have a DP shred on it as well. Again, 50% crit hit rate. Anytime you see that on a Guardian skill, as long as you're keeping your stacks up, that just translates into 100% with the passive. So the Shift F is going to look like this. Slow animation, but as you can see, giant cone shaped ability. It's going to absolutely nuke, and it does a ton of damage to players on the ground because it does have that down attack. Next up, we're going to have the forward R&B. This is super armor. It is going to be the first of many leaps that Guardian has. This is just forward R&B, like I said before. It has a minus 20 AP debuff on the enemy. This as well gives you a 10% move speed bonus for 10 seconds. So you're going to be a little faster coming out of it. And it is super armor, which is super nice if you want to gap close. So right here, decent amount of distance, and it's going to allow you to close the gap to your enemy. Alright, the next nuke we're going to have coming up is going to be your Shift Q. This also has a flow by just hitting Q, which will give you a second hit, as you can see right here. Both are super armor. The first part's going to give you minus 15% evasion on the target, again, for those evasion Muskin memers. The second part has a nice accuracy addition, as well as the first, both giving you 15%. This is going to be, again, one of your harder hitting attacks. The second part has down attack, the first part has air attack, and it also has a vacuum for PvE only. So I'll show you guys what that looks like. There's the first hit, second hit. Does a lot of damage in PvP, as I've seen on some Korean streams. It looks like a phenomenal ability. It is a slower animation, but if you can survive through it, you are going to get a tremendous burst off. Alright, next up is going to be yet another leap that Guardian has. This is going to be WQ or forward Q. It gives you 10% move speed bonus upon landing. It is super armor, but again does not have a CC. I'll show you guys that now. God, the abilities on this class look so cool. I cannot wait to play it on live. The next skill we have is going to be down R&B. It's going to be a float into an air attack, air smash / down smash on the second hit. So I'll show you guys this little 1-2 combo now. First hit, second hit. As you can see, we got the air smash on the target right there. I think this will be a good CC to follow up if you catch someone with a standing stun, or even just continuing your CC while they're on the ground. Getting that air attack is going to give you a tremendous amount of damage, because that is the hardest hitting modifier in the game. Next up, we're going to have Shift R&B, which has an awesome flow to it, allowing you to strike a second time. Now the first time is not going to be protected, but it does have a knockdown on it. The second part of it is also a knockdown with forward guard. The first part is down attack damage. The second is going to give you air attack and down attack, as well as an air smash and down smash. So the damage potential between the skill and its flow are tremendous. Alright guys, this is going to be your Shift R&B with the flow right here. So Shift R&B and the flow. Just 2 swings, can be followed up by a lot of abilities. This has kind of been my go-to after I get the first knockdown or the first CC, because of the damage and the CC potential. Even if they resist the first knockdown on the initial Shift R&B, you have the follow-up from the second, which also has a knockdown on it. So really, really good potential for CC and a crazy, crazy amount of damage. Because again, if you have your stacks up, that second hit is going to be 100% crit rate. Alright guys, that's going to do it for our first of many Guardian videos. Today was just a video for me to get back into YouTube, kind of show you guys what the new Guardian class looked like, as well as go over the skills with you. I know it wasn't the most exciting, but for those of you that like to get down to the nitty gritty, you know, be prepared for the new class, know what each ability is going to do a little bit of theory crafting in terms of comboing, PvP, PvE potential. I hope this guide opens your eyes into what can be done with this amazing class. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. 2020 is going to be the year of the YouTube rise for us. As long as I don't procrastinate and get lazy. Which, you know, we never do. We never do around here. You know, we are strictly business. No memes, strictly business, and Zerkers jumping around in the background. I hope you guys love this video. Make sure to comment, subscribe, like, do all that crazy stuff. Again, let me know what you guys want to see from me in the future. And for this video, I'm out. Peace.